98.7 FM and AM 1340 WGAU. This is Classic City Today with Tim Bryant.
Well, sir, I believe in doing the right thing. And for a long time, we've had some things that have been done that are not right.
Talked with him back in March as he was running in a May primary trying to unseat incumbent Senator Frank Ginn. An unsuccessful run, but he's back out there again to make a campaign for the Georgia legislature. 7:06 on Classics. And today, Charlie Chase, you heard there, joining us this morning, running in House District 119. Let me set the stage here. Special election the end of the month, January 31st, to decide who goes to the House in House District 119. How did we get here? Danny Rampey was elected in November, won a Republican primary, and then ran unopposed in November. You know the story by now. Got himself arrested in December, theft charges in Barrow County. He steps aside, and so a special election. Charlie Chase may have been the first to qualify, certainly among the first. Others, Joseph Grudzicki, Hope Persinger, Joe Price, Shelby Diamond Alexander, Renee Lord, Bill Ritter, all of them qualifying in this special election. Charlie Chase, first out of the gate to talk with us about his campaign. Charlie Chase, thanks for your time this morning.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate you having me on.
The point of running now, and what got you into this race, this specific seat? Obviously, you're in the district, but what about this moment appealed to you?
Well, I wasn't sure. Early on, I had no idea Representative England was going to retire, or I may have very well run for this seat originally. But after I told the citizens of the district in Barrow County where I live that I'd run for the Senate, I'm one of these people that if I tell you I'll do something, I'm going to do it. And so when Barry England announced his retirement, there was no, I refused to resign from the Senate race and run for the House. I didn't win the primary. It was an interesting election. And now we've had this recent development with this House seat coming up. And so I'll run for that. I've lived in Barrow County since roughly 1989. I've been here for a long time. I'm a self-employed businessman. I own multiple businesses in the county. My office building is here in the city of Winder. I know a lot of people, and I've been here for an awful long time, and I see a lot of things that we have in our county, our city, our state, and even our country that just aren't right. And we're going to really absolutely have to do the right thing. We need to do what's best for our citizens in our state, our county, this district, the people that I live with, work with, and I'm around every day. We need to do what's right for them.
Now, let's talk about that, because you mentioned that. You heard yourself there a moment ago. That was back in March, talking about the Senate campaigns. You said the same thing then. Some things aren't right. Let's make some things right. What do you have in mind? What are you talking about?
Well, as you know, we've had a large push in this country and our state and even our county on criminal justice reform and a lot of different things. And some of this clearly is not working. We don't have accountability for people and, quite frankly, some punishments for their bad actions. If they're indeed convicted and, charged with a crime and convicted, we need to have accountability and we need to do what's right.
Charlie Chase with this candidate in this special election, House District 119. Should have done this first. Give me, as you understand it, the basic geography of this district. Where exactly, I know Barrow, Jackson counties. Where exactly are we talking about?
District 119 will be virtually all of Barrow County and some of Jackson County over around the Houston area.
Okay, and not a lot of time to cover a lot of ground here, and a lot of candidates in this race, and the prospect of a runoff, should it come to that many candidates, almost hard to imagine that it wouldn't. What's it take to run a race like this? People are sick of elections. I know you know this. We went through the whole thing in November, then we had that runoff, took us all the way through Thanksgiving up to Christmas. People tired of this, and here you are out there asking them to vote again. That's a tough ask for any of you folks.
It's absolutely tough to ask people to keep participating in things, and we've kind of gotten into the early voting and a lot of the stuff with the elections and the way things have changed. It's now almost a never-ending cycle. And when you run for one of these offices, from the dog catcher, all the way up to the President of the United States, it's a constant. You constantly have to campaign. The miles you put on vehicles, the people you see and talk to, and the money that it takes to do it is kind of prohibitive for the average people, or people that might want to become interested in doing some community service and representing their fellow citizens. It's hard to do it without a lot of backing and a lot of money. I've been fortunate that without a lot of backing and a lot of money, I know a lot of people, and a lot of people know what I will do, what I won't do. And I have a lot of support from the grassroots level, and I think that's very important. The grassroots is where all of this starts on our representation, locally, in the city, in the county, in the state, nationally. The people need to become more involved and more aware of what their elected officials are doing, the policies and everything else that goes on with our legislators, because it affects everybody's life. Not just a few, it affects everybody in the state.
Well, let's talk about where, Charlie Chase, some of that support may be coming from. I gather you had the support of these folks during your Senate run this past year, and maybe again for this run in the House. The Georgia Republican Assembly, with, I am led to understand, in many cases the support of the chair of the Georgia GOP, David Schaefer, in looking to unseat incumbents, as you tried to do with Senator Ginn this past year. And I'm hearing around the campfire that there's going to be a lot of folks in the Republican caucus who are going to come out specifically against you. Are you hearing the same assessments? Do you read it the same way? What's your plan here?
Well, I don't know who will come out against me or for me. I'm one of those people, you'll either like me or you don't. I can get along with people that I don't like and work with them too. That's kind of been one of my strong points over the years. Some of the businesses that I'm in, I have to work with people sometimes that are maybe difficult to work with, or, not happy about what's happening. And I can normally get along and navigate those situations pretty well, because at the end of the day, if you always do what's right, you never have to worry about it. If you'll do the right thing, even when people are not looking at you, you do the right thing, and everything else is going to work out. You won't have to worry about getting things done, because you have to do the right thing.
You mentioned running several businesses. Give me a sense of what types of businesses you might be talking about here.
I'm a general contractor, a residential light commercial contractor. I developed and built Family Dollar stores for a number of years. I have a private investigation company. I do some PI work. I own some mobile home parks, and I'm in the rental business as a residential landlord, and I'm also a bail bondsman. I own a bail bonding company. I own All American Bail Bonds. My main office is here in Winder, Georgia, and I've done that for a number of years, and that's kind of another reason why I have an insight and a look at the behind-the-scenes things that go on in our county, our cities, our state, our nation, that the average people never see, and they're very unaware of some of the policies and things that go on out there that create a dangerous situation for the average citizen.
This is a fair question to ask here, and we'll let you go on this one. You rattle off about 4 or 5 things that you're actively involved in now. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. How in the world are you going to have time to run for, and if you win, serve in the legislature? Do you sleep?
Well, I'm a bail bondsman. I sleep very little. I never know when the phone's going to ring. I've never been afraid of hard work. The difference in between, say, a guy that does, one thing and something else, the guy that will work twice as hard can make it, because there's no substitute for hard work and doing what's right. If you do what's right and you work hard, you'll be successful in America, in the state of Georgia, in Barrow County, City of Winder, City of Statham, any of these places. If you always do what's right and you work hard, you will succeed in anything that you do.
Charlie Chase hopes to succeed in a special election to fill the House District 119, seating him one of 7 candidates who qualifying period ending this week. Election January 31st, early voting in advance of that. Best of luck out there, Charlie Chase. Thanks so much for your time this morning.
Yes, sir, and I appreciate you having me on, and if you ever need to know anything or any questions I can ever answer for you or any of your listeners, I'll be happy to do my very best to make that happen for you.
We will be in touch. Thanks so much.